What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This is JB right here, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew. I'm talking about Shy, Kelvin, and Jermaine. And for everyone who's tuning in, I hope that you become a subscriber, support Behind the Bench, and help make the show the best that it can be. Now check this out. As basketball fans know, the new NBA season is about to kick off a month from now. The 23-24 campaign. And what's funny is, man, studying the NBA landscape over the past 4 seasons, the trend was, for teams to clear out cap space, try to recruit that prime superstar, as a free agent, lock them in, for the foreseeable future and pay the big bucks. Well, I believe that trend has run its course. Most of these young stars, up-and-coming stars, superstars, like your Zion Williamsons, Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, and Jaylen Brown, he just got locked in for $300 million for the next, 5 seasons. So what was once commonplace, I see it being the exception to the rule for the remainder of this decade. And the available free agents or slim pickings now, and basically what you have are either players on the tail end of their career or young, unproven players that, for the most part, the only contract that's really being made available to these players or the vet minimum contracts. So to me, if you sign a player like that to a vet minimum, I believe you're going to get vet minimum production. That's what I believe. You got a lot of players, let's say like a JaVale McGee, players like that. They're basically signing 1-year deals. Or like, Kelly Oubre, who just signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. JaVale McGee signed, I believe it was a 1-year deal to play for the Sacramento Kings. I believe that's going to be the trend. Let's say Dwight Howard, gets offered a deal with an NBA team. It's only going to be for 1 year because the last couple of teams he's played for, he's done so under the vet minimum scale. We're talking about like 2.5 million, somewhere around there. Something like 2.5, 2.75 million, something to that effect. And I believe a lot of this is because number one, teams are smartening up. They're not trying to go for broke. They're developing their young talent who they drafted. Player development instead of player empowerment. And I believe it's a great thing. And I believe it's going to produce more stable rosters where fans can become familiar with the players again rather than seeing all this player turnover, on a yearly basis. You trade for a guy, for the 3rd year in a row and he wants to be traded to another team. It's just getting out of hand. Or, you flip your roster over every year for a guy to help him win. You trade for a superstar, you give up 3 players and 3 draft picks, and that star player is gone within 18 months. Nah, man, that's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly, it's not feasible. And that formula, that short-sighted view, it doesn't work. And front offices are smartening up, and it's the best thing for the team, for the fans, and actually for the player. But yeah, as far as going top heavy, clearing out your roster, getting rid of your young drafted talent and a boatload of draft picks, well, the new CBA is putting a restriction to all that. Putting a restriction to all of that, to where you can no longer facilitate a deal by trading away draft picks 7 years down the road. No. organization continue to do that, they will fold like a tent. So I believe this is a good thing what's happening with free agency. And really, free agency really should be for, now, like I said, there's always an exception to the rule. Like when Shaquille O'Neal signed with the Lakers back in 1996. But that was only because the Orlando Magic did not pay him what he felt he was worth. Otherwise, he would have re-signed with Orlando. But that was an exception to the rule. And if you do pursue a superstar level player, you're going to have to have draft assets to pull it off. And I'm not talking about in a way where you're mortgaging the future, but more often than not, if you're like one major piece away from seriously vying for the championship, that's what I'm talking about. So that's where I see the NBA headed. I believe it's a good thing. I believe over this past 15 years, particularly with the super team era, I'm a stickler against this whole concept of the super team. It's a devaluation process. Superstars who are asked to take a lesser role, they become devalued. Starting level players, like role players, they become devalued. And then free agents become devalued because they are pursued to take less money to try to push for a quick championship. And that's not going to work. It's not going to work anymore. So take a player like Bobo, who played for the Orlando Magic over the past couple of seasons after being traded by the Denver Nuggets, and he just got picked up by the Phoenix Suns. Now, a player like that, I believe he has a lot of potential, and I believe he's in the perfect situation for his style of play. Now, he may turn into a formidable player to where, a year or 2 years from now, he can maximize his earning potential. You know what I'm saying? But you've seen too many players become devalued and then wind up playing for way less than what they're worth based on their past, achievement and past production. Like Andre Drummond, he getting paid a vet minimum playing backup. You know what I'm saying? Montrezl Harrell, he gave up an $84 million contract with the Charlotte Hornets to pursue a championship, and he lost $64 million along the way, devalued himself, and now he's playing backup when he was the 6th man of the year in 2019. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, I just want to throw it out there real quick, man. Like I said, teams are smartening up. That's not going to be the trend no more. And I believe it's the best thing that's happened to the league in a very long time. So now the free agents is being signed, I believe it's more appropriate per se. At least it's headed towards that trend. I still see a lot of unproven players, being asked to sign for vet minimum deals. And they're like in their early 20s and mid-20s. So if it don't work out for them, well, more than likely they'll never see another 8-figure contract ever again in their career. So they rolling the dice. But I believe this will begin to flesh out, teams trying to go for broke, and will encourage teams with this new CBA to truly develop young players they are drafting, so you don't have to go for broke. You don't have to clear out half your roster and refill it with free agents. That's not a way to run a team, especially on a professional basketball level. So I just want to throw that out there real quick. Season is a month away. Training camp starts soon. Get ready to rock and roll. But until next time, this is Jake B for BTB, Behind the Bench.